One of the biggest challenges that leaders face is that the higher they rise in the organization, the less they can actually see. Hey, Internet friends, it's Joe, and welcome to another episode of Simplify, Focus, Scale. And today, I want to talk about some common leadership assumptions that really can create or exacerbate that perception gap between what the leader thinks is happening and what the staff is really experiencing. We see a lot of common assumptions with most leaders. Most leaders think that they're communicating very, very clearly. They think they have a good understanding of what their staff is going through and what's happening in the business, and also that everyone has the same information. But the people that are closest to the work often see the problems long before leadership does. One way that we see this surface in business, in the real world, is when we have a leader who has decided that there's going to be a change in direction or some change in a process, whether that's a new technology or just a simple step change as far as how things are communicated, things like that. The important point is not what the change is, but there's been some sort of a change that the leaders are assuming are going to either get them to a goal quicker or make life easier for their staff, or in some cases, both. But the reality is they often fail to do a couple of things. One, to ask the people actually doing the work if that change is going to have an impact. What are the problems that could result of that very simple change? The leaders just go in and assuming that everything is always going to work the way it's designed. But we all know in the real world, business doesn't always go exactly as it's designed. Okay, so that's number one. The second part of that is that leaders often fail to fully disclose why they're making a change. A lot of leaders are running on the assumption that all of their staff has the same information the leader does as far as what the background and the goals and the future are. But the staff is a little bit more siloed in that. Keep in mind, as a leader, you are seeing things your staff doesn't see. You are hearing things at a business level that the staff is not privy to. But the flip side of that is your staff is seeing things that you're not seeing, and they're hearing things you're not hearing. They are directly interfacing with your customers. They're directly interfacing with each other. They are in the nitty-gritty stuff that you as a leader are not working on. And that's where those gaps come into play. Because a leader with their best of intentions is going to dictate some sort of a change. And they may even ask for a little bit of feedback, but they're going to dictate some sort of a change. But they're not asking the person who's at the other end of the corporate hierarchy how that's impacting them. A small change that involves a few seconds of someone's day can multiply into several minutes or even hours, depending on how many times that change impacts them on a daily basis. That lack of consideration for how it impacts somebody, that is what's going to exacerbate those feelings of the leadership gap, and also exacerbate those feelings of feeling disrespected, disregarded, and so on. So remember, leadership isn't always about seeing everything yourself. It's about creating an environment where people feel safe enough to show you what you can't see. That's what you need to focus on. Your team should be an extension of you, not some group of people that you're just ordering around. Successful businesses, the leaders are going to use their people as an extension of themselves. And the question isn't whether or not your team sees the things that you don't, because they do. The question is whether you've created an environment where they will tell you about it. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. If you like today's video, go ahead and hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you have any thoughts, questions, or comments, feel free to drop them down below this video. You guys know I will respond to all the comments here on YouTube. And if you want to reach out through any other platforms, feel free to check out the website, jpcoachingnow.com. And from there, you can find me on all of the other social media platforms. Follow me on LinkedIn. And also reach out to me via phone or email from there if you want to have a conversation. I always love to hear what you guys think. So if you have any ideas on or thoughts on what you'd like to see in a future video, and I'll see you next week in another edition of Simplify, Focus, Scale.